I'm very happy that Darya's ready. So here you go.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, Camille. My name is Darya. I'm the CEO of VMS Software. I was supposed to present together with our chairman at TerraCloud, Johan Gedda. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it here, so you will have to bear with me for the entirety of this presentation, what's left of this hour. And first, let me say thank you so much for coming. I am so glad to see you guys here, and I really look forward to all of the amazing talks we're about to participate in. You know, I actually love boot camps. My first boot camp was in 2017, and I loved it so much that I thought, okay, how do I make sure that I get to every boot camp from now on? Well, I had to become the CEO because Sally's the only person who gets invited to all of the boot camps. But now I'm here. Oh yes, I could be Camille, but I couldn't really, right? So here I am. You know, it's such a nice feeling when you know it's going to be great and you're in the beginning of it and you have 3 full days of this ahead of you. So I'm having this feeling now, and I hope this bootcamp is as pleasurable and interesting for you as it is for me. The goal of this presentation is to give you an idea of this company so that you know what we are all about and you feel confident dealing with us in the future. I'll start with VMS Software, and then I will expand onto the broader context of TerraCloud, our group, our mother company. And it will be a very high-level overview, but I'm very glad to say that we have a lot of people from VMS Software at this event presenting the details, all of the different aspects of our corporate directions. In detail, there'll be Camille presenting the technical directions. There will be Nikita talking about the layered products. We'll have Raphael and Jackie talk about the cloud strategy and many more presentations at this bootcamp will be dedicated to exactly what we mean by these corporate directions. Now, thank you. This is our mission. By linking the past to the future, we help OpenVMS users protect and realize the full value of their application investments. Please take a good look at this because this is what guides us in everything that we do. If you ever have a question about why we're doing what we're doing, just go back to this. When we realized that this is our mission, we started changing to fit our customers' needs. And I have to say that over the past 11 years, we have actually changed dramatically. And I'm glad to have been around for the majority of this journey. I've been with this company for 8 years. We have become focused on our mission. We used to be driven by the goal of porting to x86, which, if you look at it very closely, it requires a lot of further thought. Nobody really means what exactly means porting to x86, like what needs to be there in x86. Or what choices do we need to make? And it's sometimes hard to see how all the departments in the company contribute to it. So it was kind of whatever you can do to help, which generally leads to a lot of collisions between people who all mean well. But now with the current mission and the goals that I will present, we break it down into small pieces and everyone gets one. And we find ourselves pulling in the same direction much more than we used to in the past, leading to basically us doing more for the customers. And we're also shaping our partner program in a way that the partners pull in the same direction as us towards x86. We have become more stable, and you will understand this statement much better towards the end of my talk when I present all of the financial numbers. We are currently 159 people, probably a bit more with the recent new hires all over the world. Different cultures, different age profiles, which makes us much more balanced. We have over 100, I think, different products in our portfolio, depending on how you count, and a product organization to drive their future. We are profitable and we invest back. In fact, just our investment in R&D at VMS Software is significantly higher than the money that's taken out of the business. And we don't just sell licenses, we also provide support and services. And this gives us a diverse revenue profile, which again, makes us stable. And at this point, there's very little that can take us out of business. Some of our customers that come to us, they have this question of, why should we trust you guys? You're a small company. Why should we trust our mission critical application to this small company? And if you actually think about it, why would you trust a big company where only one department of that company is taking care of OpenVMS? Because it could just go out in a snap, one management decision, one signature, and it's no longer supported. Us, on the other hand, we're entirely dedicated to OpenVMS. Our entire company, everything that we do, every person is pulling in to ensure the future of OpenVMS. And if we don't provide the updates, if we don't provide the support, the professional services, if we don't talk to our customers, there is no food on the table for us. So I think we're actually much more stable. We're also younger. When we started, the median age was in the 60s, but it was also a smaller company. Now it's 36. We'll find a lot of new names in the agenda. Please do go to all those presentations. Those people are great. We've trained a new generation of VMS experts in software development, in support, in services. In fact, we're actually now a third generation of VMS experts, in the sense that the people who we hired 4 or 5 years ago, who we've trained, are now training the new people. Do we have Kobe Smith here in the room? Yes, hi Kobe. So he does support, he upgrades customers to newer versions of VMS, and he trains, he's a mentor. And the young people that we bring on, they help us use modern tools and processes, which makes us faster, of course, and they question everything that we do. They come in, we show them how it's done. And I say young people because I'm no longer young, believe it or not, in this company. We have much younger people working for us. And, we show them what we do, and they ask us why. And we go, well, we've been doing this for 30 years. And they're like, but why isn't, that a better way? And then we scratch our heads, and sometimes that is a better way. So that is great. They have lots of ideas on how to modernize VMS. Actually, we've started something called a hackathon at the TerraCloud level, which is where you give developers full freedom to do whatever they want to work on, whatever ideas they have for 24 hours. It's like an innovation factory. It's amazing what you can do with 24 hours, a laptop, a pizza, some energy drinks, and management breathing down your necks. It's incredible. They made the package manager. They've implemented CI/CD. They've implemented automatic installations and updates, and more stuff that's making its way into OpenVMS as we speak. We have also become significantly faster, but there's a caveat. Now, we've modernized our processes in all departments, from development and delivery to quoting and fulfillment. And it used to take months, sometimes at some points in the past. Now it takes days, sometimes it takes hours, what used to take months. However, we've also increased volume. We now have more products. We have actually made new products for OpenVMS. We've also ported a lot of stuff to x86. So now we're supporting on 3 architectures as opposed to 2 architectures. And we've also improved our testing dramatically. So now we're finding more bugs pre-release, which makes us slower. So I don't know about that one, but we're definitely trying to be faster, and we're succeeding in a lot of areas. And then finally, we've become much more transparent. We have a much better website now. I know because I redid it 3 times myself. It is frequently updated. It has a roadmap that is linked directly to our Jira, so you can actually see how the development is going. We have social media where we communicate. We're now at a boot camp. We have webinars. We've started publishing our open source repositories. We talk way more to our customers outside the scope of renewals. And it really helps because quite often we see the amazing application that they're running, and we can stop them just in time to keep them running on OpenVMS and save the customer a few $1 million usually. I'm very proud of this transformation, and I've been here to witness most of it. I've participated in it, and I'm so excited about what comes next. Because there's always, you know, that we have room for improvements. We know that we have room for improvements, and this is what we're gonna do. And then I often get asked, you know, what did you do for OpenVMS? What did you actually do for the ecosystem? This kind of drives me mad a little bit, but I'm glad you asked. We've probably done more for OpenVMS than anyone since DEC, especially considering the size of this company. We ported the entire ecosystem to x86. We got it to the cloud. We developed a lot of open source products, ported them to x86. We maintain a freeware repository on the website. We're updating those ones as well. We're accepting submissions, by the way. If you have freeware that you want to share, send it to us. We've released alpha and integrity updates. We're providing a lot of information about OpenVMS. We have the forum, we have the wiki, we publish digital technical journals on our website. We have the website, we have the product catalog. We are working with partners to make that information available as well. We're maintaining a community program, an ambassador program, all the things that I said, bootcamps, webinars. And, you know, more importantly, we give choice to OpenVMS customers. Choice of going to x86 on-prem or in the cloud. Choice of maybe, if they wish to, we don't recommend it, but staying on the existing hardware. We give them time to do that. We give them time for migrations. Actually, even migrating off would be much more difficult without us actually supporting the existing application while the migration is ongoing. We have the choice of training the new team that the customer hires or providing them with managed services. This is what we do. This is our business. We provide choice to the customer. And like I said, we're planning to do more, even though we've done a lot for x86 already. That is ongoing. You know, we can improve. It's far from over. There is a lot of room for modernization in support, especially with the recent developments in AI, which is not doing very well with OpenVMS right now, as we know, but we're working on it. We have a lot of improvements to catch up on in terms of infrastructure, such as cloud services and attendant installation, more package manager features, full integration with industry standard development solutions, monitoring solutions, delivery solutions, CI/CD, you name it. Right. We will be working on the next version of OpenVMS, which will have the new TCP/IP stack, iSCSI, which will have timekeeping in VMs. We're planning to continue the bootcamps. We'll continue to improve information about the benefits of OpenVMS, specifically for those new CIOs and CTOs that discover an alpha in their basement running the majority of their operations in OpenVMS. We still have those. And we do have customers who plan to run with us for years and years and years to come. We have customers who plan to migrate off in 2050. And we have those that plan to migrate off in 3 years, but they've been doing it for 10 years. And, you know, and of course, there's x86. We want to move more integrity customers to x86, alpha customers maybe. And if they need it, we'll assume management of their systems. We'll help them with system management. And if not, we're very happy to train a new generation of system managers in your companies. And the support team is excited to talk to some new people, new faces. So in 2026 specifically, and this is not a commitment because we're still in a planning stage, but this is what it is kind of starting to look like for us. We're planning to release update 3 of OpenVMS, version 9.2-3, and we're planning to release version 9.2-4 at some point. Field test version of 9.2-4 at some point in the year. Camille will talk more about this. I just listed a few ones that I thought were very important. We will have the package manager updates. We're working on adding dependencies in there, which I think is a major improvement. We're working on adding the licenses in there as in installing licenses automatically. We're working on updates for web UI that have to do with permissions, so you guys can actually use it. That have to do with performance of the web UI application. We will definitely work a lot on the client portal, making it easier for you guys to log support tickets, making it also a diagnostic tool that you can use to assess your migration to x86 or assess the health of your current system. We are planning an official release of a new development tool called OpenVMS. Sorry, I didn't fix the slide. We were still deciding on the name back then. It's called VMS XE, which stands for VMS Cross Development Environment. And there will be a presentation about it on the third day of the bootcamp, I believe, in the morning.
Friday morning.
Please go there. It will blow your mind. We plan to get more open source repositories out there. We plan to release OpenGDP 21.17 and then 21. We're working on native build. We're working on CI/CD, auto install and auto deploy. We have all these projects going, and we will announce the plan once we have it. We're working actively with our Japanese customers. We've recently hired more people in Japan, and we still have a lot of customers there that we plan to talk more to in this year. We are considering getting STIG certified for all of the defense and government customers that are still using OpenVMS. Again, we're still discussing that. And a hot topic for many of you, I know, is performance benchmarking. We are working on that. There will be a presentation at this bootcamp to show you how far we've come so far. And then we will definitely plan something for next year to do with this, to release more information and to actually do something about the information that we release. So that is sort of the very rough plan for 2026. Please stay tuned for more updates during the bootcamp and the roadmap updates once we get there. Now, what does this mean for you? I mean, if you can remember one thing from this presentation, or the VMS part of this presentation, is please talk to us. We really want to talk to you. We really want to know what your applications are, what your customers' applications are. And then we can talk to you about everything that we have, all the new developments. Maybe some of them are in the works. Maybe we are not confident yet to release them to the general public. But if we think they're relevant, we'll talk to you about them. And we do offer choice. You know, whatever you want to do, wherever you want to take your OpenVMS system, whatever makes sense for business, for your business, we will offer that choice to you. We will support you for as long as you need that support. And I'm proud to say that you can now modernize your system. You can replace your hardware. You can go to the cloud. You can integrate the VMS environments with the rest of the infrastructure, with the rest of your monitoring infrastructure, the rest of the development infrastructure. It's getting there, and you know, we're not moving as fast as maybe AI is, but we're moving pretty fast. So if something was not available 2 months ago, maybe it is actually available now. So please talk to us. That's what I wanted to say about OpenVMS, and let me move into the TerraCloud business update. So the update for the broader part of the group. Jon was supposed to deliver this part of the presentation, but he trusts me. So let's see if I can live up to Jon's expectations. I will talk a little bit about the revenue of VMS and the group. I will talk about our investment in R&D, which is very important to our management. I will talk about our headcount and geographic expansion over the years, a little bit about our financial stability, and yeah, that'll be it. So the TerraCloud group is not just VMS software. We also have other companies in the group that mostly take care of IBM applications. We have VOS, which is the mainframe operating system. We have VSI, which is another mainframe operating system, and we have Streams, which is a product for IBM mainframes. So these are the other companies in the group. Yeah. It's actually the other companies kind of look like VMS in the sense that we have a lot of R&D. We're at 66% at the moment, so that is the percentage of development in the company. It's a little bit less for VMS, but in general in R&D, it's 66%, and this is great because we can tap into their experience, we can tap into their knowledge, we can get advice on all the technologies that we are not using but are thinking about using. And we can, we can rely on those people if we need some more hands. And if you look at the charts over on the left, you will see the amount of money invested in research and development at TerraCloud since 2014. The navy blue is VMS and the light blue is TerraCloud. The TerraCloud group is growing, and that is why it shows less of the VMS part in the investment. But actually, this is pretty consistent in the history of VMS. We're investing back about 30-40%, which over the course of 11 years is now over 165 million. I think we're closing in on 200 million this year. And if we look at just VMS, well, we've invested over half of that has been invested just by VMS. And we have few less percent of R&D. We actually have a lot of, this is, I think that's because we've increased our support and professional services headcount mostly. So we didn't shrink R&D, we just expanded the company. But this is what it looks like at the moment. And like I said, we're actually investing more money just into R&D. We're also investing in other departments, but we're investing more money than we're taking out, which I think is very impressive. And it says a thing or two about the priorities of our ministries. And then I want to take you on a journey throughout the years, showing how we have developed since 2014 when this company was formed. So it was formed in the US. We had a lot of people based in the US in the beginning, some contractors, some regular employees. And we didn't make any money back then. We actually didn't make any money for a few years. In 2015, we've added, you can probably guess who in the Netherlands. And you can also probably guess who in New Zealand. Right, it's Brett here. Right, so we added Brett and we added Camille and we added some more people in the US and we kept going. And then we added some more people in the US and we kept going. And then in 2017, Johan partnered with his friend in Russia. And this is where I come in. I started in Russia back in 2017. We were working on open source and we're working on some training stuff. And we also added some people in France and Germany, I think some consultants. Right, and we kept going. And then we added a few more people, some in Sweden, more in the US. That was what 2018 looked like. 2019, we started adding support people in Australia, I believe, or maybe that was 2007. And so debugger people in Australia. That was 2020. We were at our biggest headcount in Russia, again, working on open source stuff. This is when a lot of open source stuff started happening, and also training. Right, so this is what it looked like. And then we started growing our subsidiary in Armenia. Again, working on open source products, that's a lot of work. 2021, we added someone in Japan to help our Japanese customers and a whole bunch of other contractors. Some people were in Denmark already then. And Denmark is where the headquarters of our TerraCloud subsidiary is. So 2021, you know what happened? Some of those people moved to Denmark, including myself. But unfortunately, we lost a lot of good engineers that year. But we added them in Armenia and in the US, and we kept going. It's actually amazing how resilient this company is. A lot of things happened that had us rethink our entire operations. A lot of things happened where we lost 20% of our revenue, and we're still going. So this was 2023. You can see that we're adding people in Denmark, we're adding people in Armenia. We haven't started Greece yet. Yes, We're keeping the US headcount. And in 2024, we started the Greek subsidiary, and this is great. We have a couple of people from Greece at Bootcamp. Please talk to them. They're amazing. They're doing some amazing stuff with VMware, with timekeeping, and they're doing great. We've added more people in Armenia, more people in Denmark. So our US headcount was not increasing, but unfortunately, we started losing people due to retirement. And this is what we've been preparing for all along. And this is still going, but I'm happy to say that we're very stable and we are not losing any major parts of our operations when someone retires. We're very sad for them. They still come over for coffee. Dave Sweetie does a lot of gardening. I like to talk to him about it. But the company keeps going. OpenVMS keeps going. So this was last year. We are adding support folks in Australia and professional services folks in New Zealand. We've built our professional services organization in Denmark as well. And so this is where we are. And it's very distributed, and I like it because people come from different cultures and from different countries, and they just have a different view on things. And they're exposed to different kinds of businesses and different kinds of different ways of doing things back in their countries. And that's great. We're not stuck in one mentality. We're not stuck in one way of doing things. And of course, it brings a lot of complexity with this. But it also makes us more resilient. And I love that. And if you look at revenue growth on the left, we've been growing revenue all this time. We're actually getting better and better at it. It's a little bit complicated with revenue because some customers prefer signing their contracts 31st of December. Some of them prefer signing their contracts 1st of January. So you get those weird bumps. And it's kind of, it goes like this from year to year. But that does not matter because in general, it's growing and we're happy to help more and more customers with their OpenVMS applications as the years go by. And in 2025, I still don't have the full revenue statistics for you. The year is not done yet, but this is what would look like in 2025. As you can see, adding even more support and professional services people in Australia, Denmark. All of these are new young people learning OpenVMS. We have a growing presence in Greece, and those people are actually already working on the code of OpenVMS itself. They're working on timekeeping. I think they're adding people from the Greek team into our SCSI team. Is that correct? We have people in Armenia working on open source. We have a presence in Japan, all those France, Germany. Those are support professional services people. I believe we have Tom Wade in Ireland providing training to our European customers. So very distributed, very stable. And if we look at the headcount, it has increased dramatically. We have grown so much since 2014. You can see in TerraCloud, we're at about 400 people, and at VMS, we're at 160-ish. And if we look at the financial numbers, like I said, we were not making money for the first few years of our existence, but we still kept going. This is the beauty of being part of a larger company, because there are other companies in the group that make money and that invest in you so that you can get stronger and also become financially stable. So as you can see, we kind of started breaking even at some point, a few years into our existence, and we've been consistently growing since then. At some point, we acquired support contracts from HP, so you'll see a big bump. And like I said, these ones, they just basically mean that some customers sign in 31st of December, and we have a big bump over here, but it's actually pretty consistent growth. And one other thing to note is that it's a little bit hard when you're trying to accomplish a generational shift, because you have to retain all of your experienced people, and you have to hire some new people that you will train, and some of them will actually leave. So you want to hire a little bit more and train everybody to make room for whoever wants to choose another path or retire or something. So our expenses have actually been on the higher side for the past several years, but we still managed. So that is amazing, I believe, and it only it's only testament to the stability of our group, our company. So these are some conclusions from Johan that kind of overlap with mine. His investment worked. VMS Software is a thriving business that keeps getting better, and we're profitable. We're generally financially sound. There's some money that comes out of it. We invest most of it back in. And technically, we see fewer and fewer threats to our existence. When we started, it was, of course, not certain whether the x86 migration was going to work. It was not certain whether the customers would go to x86 with us. It was not certain if we would manage to train all the new people before the old people retire. I'm sorry, I just throw out these words, new people, old people. I know this is not politically correct. I am not known to be a very politically correct person. You know what I mean, right? We have the code base. We secured as much of it as we could. And we're working on it, and it's looking much, much, much better. We're actually rewriting some stuff from macro to C to make it more portable, make it make more sense for people who are coming in. We've trained a new generation of VMS people. I don't know how many times I said this today, but they're there and they're not going anywhere. We have ported to x86, so we are no longer under threat of running on outdated hardware. We have our partners, and some partners did migrate off of VMS, but most of the ones that stayed are with us to say they've migrated to x86, and we're very happy to promote their solutions to our customers. And then commercially, he means the growth overall in the group, not just in VMS. We are a global company, a young company, very capable team. We have all sorts of skills in VMS. We have all sorts of skills in TerraCloud. We cross-pollinate. We do events, interlocks. We do hackathons. People talk to each other. It's very easy for me to, if I need some expertise on the cloud, I need some expertise on containers. We're trying to do CI/CD. We don't know very much about CI/CD, but we can reach out over to this other company in the group that has been doing CI/CD for a long time. And vice versa, VSI is that's an IBM mainframe operating system. They're very early in the journey that we have done modernizing an operating system. So they tap into our expertise, and this is great. We also have modern processes all throughout the group, and it's much easier to implement it in a company if you have already implemented them in a different company in the same group. And we can now focus on customer applications. We can focus on talking to customers, on providing solutions to them, and it is actually a very good business model to focus on what the customers need and on what their applications need to keep running on VMS, as opposed to trying to make OpenVMS great again. Sorry. I apologize. Come on. Services have always been a strength. I mean, we are the people who develop OpenVMS, so we know how it works. We still have all of you guys who know how it works, who've worked with OpenVMS for 30, 40, 48 years, maybe. Someone, I don't know. So we have great support. We support customers with x86 migrations. We've done a few of those. You can go to customer stories on our website and see that. See what we've done there. We have managed services that we're already providing to customers, running their applications when their system managers have retired. We have application services, and we have the know-how, and we're going to propagate it throughout the group, so we are even stronger. And like I said, we have the industry knowledge. We have open source developers who work with open source product. We have cloud services. We're working with virtual machines, all that stuff. So we're happy to say that we're fine. We're doing well. And so as we look to the future, what are we looking at? I mean, in terms of software, we're doing well. We're still onboarding large clients to this day. Customers come to us and say, "Oh, turns out we're running OpenVMS. Can you guys help us with that?" To this day, really. And we are still adding more customers than we lose by revenue. And VMS for x86 is here. You can migrate to x86 and keep running it on the new architecture. And some customers plan to run their applications into the 50s or forever. Many of our customers do not have any plans to migrate off. Many of them have very long roadmaps in that sense. In terms of services, I've already said that we are transferring the skills, and actually at this point, we're pretty confident that we have the skills. We already have the skills. The new skills are training the new skills, so that is fine. We have the people, and well, these are Johan's plans for the group, right? And these make sense. So he wants to leverage the business skills that we have and the technical skills that we have to do more for existing customers and partners. In terms of services, again, taking over management of their systems, maybe doing migrations, taking over development of their applications. We are actually, even though I said we're not trying to make OpenVMS great again, we are looking into this actually. We're looking into new markets for OpenVMS. I think we are now at the point when we are stable enough to start looking for that. However, we're not sure yet if there is a new OpenVMS. So if you have some ideas to share with me, I want to do that. And then of course Johan's plan, because he has OpenVMS and he has ZOS and he has VSI, and you can kind of start to get the pattern there. He wants to find additional ecosystems to manage, which is I believe a great business strategy. And what it means for us essentially is that, you know, we're even more stable because people are going to run OpenVMS and people are going to run IBM mainframes for many years to come. And that means we can fund our development efforts for many years to come. Sorry. Back. No, wait. I'm not done yet. So one thing that we're sure about is that we're not going to sell to a private equity firm, or just milk the cow. That is definitely not planned. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can look at all the presentations that we have at this bootcamp. We are actively developing this operating system. We are actively talking to customers. It says on the T-shirt, if you turn it around on the back of the T-shirt, it says OpenVMS will run forever. We really believe that. Even though Gary pointed out that OpenVMS will technically run until, what is it? 2086. All right, but we believe that we have some time to fix that. So that is what we're planning to do. All right, now I'm done. Thank you very much.